Okay, we are live, everybody. My name is Bahzad.
My name is Risa.
And we are here broadcasting live from Yokohama, Japan, the international headquarters of Wonder Looper, to bring to you our weekly live stream to get to hang out with the Wonder Looper community, give you all the news that you can use, and all other things. It is Saturday, January 25th, 9 a.m. right here, right now in Japan, 7 p.m. Eastern, January 24th for many of you. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. How's it going?
Good.
Good. All right.
I'm feeling good. We have a lot of things to show.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Hit them with a little preview. Just that stack. Just show them that stack. Because we've got some great previews coming up today. Some new developments for Fall Winter 25. You're going to see more of that in this live stream. But before we get into all those things, let's see where you guys are tuning in from all around the world, right? We've got Mr. Christian. Greetings from Pasadena. It's currently 21 degrees Celsius here, but I'm wearing the foxfibre pullover hoodie. I'm glad it's keeping you warm. We've got Rogelio Ramirez. Hello to you. Solvents, hello from Scotland. My favorite time of the week, Mr. Solvents. Last night we were starting to plan our trip to Scotland, so we're going to be coming to that side of the world.
Yeah.
In a couple of months.
In a few months,
In a few months.
Hopefully.
That's right. Jean-Francois, bonjour from north of Montreal. It is minus 21 degrees Celsius here. I can't express enough how pleased and happy I am with the feel of the incredible softness and quality of the Super Looper fabric. Thank you. Well, thank you, sir, for tuning in, being a member of the community, and supporting our little brand. We've got Shank Style. Good to see you. Morning from Sydney, Australia. Happy Lunar New Year in advance. Wishing Bahzad and Risa and Wonder Looper wealth and prosperity in the year of the snake.
Oh, thank you very much.
Appreciate that. We've got Jason Scott. Morning from a windy England. Got a Patagonia retro fleece on and having hibiscus and lemon tea. Fantastic. I love fleeces. Fleeces are going to come one day. Enjoy your fleece. Maybe one day you'll be enjoying a Wonder Looper fleece. But yeah, those they're very cozy on a very cold winter day.
Yeah. And it's light and it's easy to take care of.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's on the horizon. BD, good to see you. The producer is in the house, everybody. Evening, folks. Classic double heavyweight Heather Gray t-shirt plus Naked and Famous Amber zip hoodie and MIJ 10. Fit checks, everybody. Well, I'll get into a fit check myself. Let us know what you guys are wearing in the chat. Let's get some fit checks going. We've got classic G-Shock over here. This one I think is from 96-ish era. Just a classic G-Shock square with the gold screen. You know how much I love the gold screens and gold accents. With the marigold. Amber screen marigold. Super Looper sweatshirt. Double heavyweight charcoal t-shirt. And my Naked and Famous dirty fades, which are coming along pretty good. So simple home fit. Just a classic American dad style. That's the style I like to go for these days.
American dad. You're
I'm
neither
I'm
American
neither,
nor dad.
That's it.
That's okay. I'm wearing the double heavyweight green zip hoodie. I'm not a zip hoodie person, but I just felt like today I just wanted the extra warmth. I just, zipped it up because it's cold in here. I'm wearing the ELS recycled cotton t-shirt in a crew color underneath. And I just dig this sample out from Clio. It's Naked and Famous Left Hand 12 woman sample. I think it was the Arrow sample.
Right.
Just
a fresh raw pair.
Yeah. Well.
Still very scratchy and raw.
Yeah. Probably worn it for like 5 times and then just kind of put it away. And I don't know. I feel like a dark jeans today.
Looking good. Show off those nails though. Look at everybody. Look at these things. Beautiful. Mirror finish. Wait a minute.
Wait.
There you go. Unbelievable.
But here, see?
That's crazy.
Like a galaxy.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, everybody. Well, there you go. Let's see what you guys are wearing in the chat. And don't forget to hit the like button while you're at it. OG Tracks, what's up, everyone? Do we have a day for the double heavyweight long sleeve? I think I'll be someone who will benefit from the new sizing because my double heavyweight fits, but it's only a little snug in the shoulders. We're going to get into some release date information today. We don't have an exact date on the double heavyweight long sleeves just yet, but I would say that a lot of stuff is coming in February. There's just a lot. So we'll go through all that today. Melody Murray, hello from Tucson. Good to see you. Wearing my Super Looper hoodie today. A lot of Super Loopers in the chat. I'm glad to see it. We've got Unbleached Apparel. Good to see you, my friend. Hello from New York. New York, everybody. Speaking of New York, just, some people may be living in the New York City area. Risa and I won't be there, but I know our good friends at Naked and Famous Denim will be having a meet and greet. I think it's on the 29th.
I think so.
At the store, at the store. So it's market week this week, and they're going to be in town. So they're going to have a little meet and greet with the Naked and Famous Denim community in the New York City area. So if you are around, if you're in that town, go in, say hello, say we said hello. Wear your Wonder Looper, wear your Naked and Famous, and I hope you have a good time there.
Yeah, it's the first time in a while that we're not participating in the market week at all.
It's, aside from COVID years,
right?
This is actually the first time in 15 years that I haven't been in Paris or New York right now. My schedule was like clockwork. Yeah. I guess that's what a schedule is like.
Yes, everybody was. Everybody would meet at the same times throughout the year.
Yeah.
For years after years. It's
like summer camp.
It was fun. Things have changed, recently, especially after COVID. But it's kind of a, bittersweet. Like, I like being home. I don't, sometimes especially the winter travels, it's just very hectic, The samples barely make it in time, and we just have to run and then, have everything ready. And
it's generally a very stressful time of year.
Yeah.
Like you said, samples are made down to the last minute. Literally, we're like getting ready to get into the car, and someone's running down from the factory with like, okay, here's the last sample.
Yeah.
And then somebody has to photograph it real quick. You throw it in your carry-on. You get to the airport.
Everything else also is the last minute. So like even the line sheet, all these emails to customers, everything comes down to kind of last minute. So,
It would be a full work day, just getting ready, everything ready. Go to the airport after work. So, you get to work at 9 a.m. You leave usually around 5. You get on like an 8 p.m.-ish flight for Paris. Then you arrive in the morning in Paris. And then you go...
Like early morning.
Early morning. You can't even check into the hotel yet. So hopefully the trade show venue is open. And then you get to the trade show venue. You set up the trade show.
Most of the time it's not, though. Most of the time you have to just kind of kill time with the luggage and just, you hate Paris the most during that time, that specific time, because you've been exhausted because you've been awake for so long and traveling. And then you have this luggage and it's cold and it's just you can't check in, you can't set up, you can't do anything. Or like a, nomad. Those times I
very
do not
difficult.
miss it.
And then you do all of that for 3 days. So you arrive, you do a trade show for two full days, 3 full days, and then you get on an airplane and you go to the next place. You don't even know where you've been. You've barely caught up with jet lag. It's very stressful. I would say it's a young man's job.
Yes. But when we were younger, we enjoyed it. It sounds like we hated it, but we were... we were having fun back then.
Definitely. Anyhow, we can reminisce about that. But it is market week, so the team will be out and about. And I bet you if you go to the store, you'll be able to see previews of Fall Winter 25 there. So they should have those samples set up in the store. So nice little preview for you guys. Okay. A little sidetrack note there. Just you mentioned New York. I had to talk about New York. A pimp named Slickback. Hello Good morning. Hello, good morning to you, my friend. Aramis says, I need the hoodie each of you have on. Well, luckily, this one will be available soon. Mm-hmm. This one is sold out.
I think it's sold out.
Yeah. So,
this color will not be back next fall.
Yeah.
But instead, we have new colors.
We got new colors. Yeah. That's it. We've got Fitted Panda. Love watching the live streams as I wrap up my work week. Well, thank you. Hello from sunny Los Angeles. Thank you so much. Forest Sun, hi from New Mexico. I'm enjoying my heavyweight foxfibre hoodie in the chilly air. Well, your foxfibre hoodie came back home. The cotton came back home to New Mexico. All of the cotton in that hoodie is from New Mexico. Mm-hmm. There you go. Aramis says hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Good, thank you very much. And we've got Brian, hello from Broomfield, Colorado, USA, America. Solvents, I hope you enjoy Scotland. I think we will. We've been there before, and now we'll have a little bit more time when we're out there.
And we're choosing the right time to go, hopefully, and not in the middle of winter.
Right. Although I don't feel like it gets that cold out there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyhow.
The sun is not
so. It's
abundant.
not. Yeah. We want abundant sun.
I know.
Filthy Cyber Rat. Morning. Checking in from Sydney, Australia. Good to see you. PBMC Maryland up in here. And he's cold out there. We've got Mad Perfect Year of the Snake. Yes, it is coming up, everybody.
Well,
when is it? I don't know. It's coming up soon.
I think it's like in the next week or so.
I'm just lost.
This weekend? No.
This month has just flown by. Christmas until now, it's disappeared.
Also, we don't really celebrate Chinese New Year, or we don't at all. So we don't know. Do you celebrate?
No.
We don't know.
I do in the spirit of things, but
yes.
I don't have any formal.
Yeah, we don't have a family get together for Chinese New Year or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
But we do wish all of you guys all the joy that comes with it. Unbleached Apparel says, wearing my 90s Fox Fiber Levi's and an unbleached tee, of course. Fantastic. Yesterday, I was at the thrift, and I saw like a nice brown pair of old Levi's, and I'm like, oh, tell me these are some Levi's Naturals. They weren't. But for those people who don't know, back in the late 80s, it might be early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Sally Fox developed a line with the Levi's company, and it was a line called Levi's Naturals, where they had some fox fiber jeans. And now this was a short-lived program, but if you can, people like Unbleached Apparel here, every now and then they get a pair. You find an old vintage pair. I've been on the hunt for a pair myself. I'd really like to have one in the collection, but as a vintage pair, but at the very least, we got to make those a lot of Naked and Famous jeans with fox fiber. So one way or another, I got my fox fiber jeans. The Raven says, hello from SoCal with my Pima black tee with my Naked and Famous natural seed denim. Used to wear those a lot. Great choice.
Yeah, that's a good denim.
Stuffy McGee, hello from Toronto, wearing my white Ultimate Puma t-shirt, undyed Frankenstein denim, and vulgar selvage 2 jeans. Fantastic. Jacket.
Yeah.
I was like, you're wearing 2 jeans? I'm like, that's hardcore. Undyed Frankenstein denim jacket and vulgar selvage 2 jeans. Great combo. All right, you know what? If I missed you, I'm going to say, if I missed you, I still love you. But thanks for checking in. Manuel, one more. Hello from Monterrey, Mexico. I don't think I've ever shouted out Monterrey, Mexico before, but thank you for checking in. A lot of familiar faces, great friends here in the crowd. B-Lot says, a heartily hello from Munich, Germany. I am on a trip to Berlin and wearing your triple heavyweight tee underneath, matching with 33-ounce Sosa Brothers denim and Eugenia's matcha boots from Argentina. Well, that sounds like a hardcore heavyweight outfit right there.
Also
that's for sure.
very global.
Yeah, very global. I know, right, I think it is going on right now, but there is also a trade show in Berlin.
Yeah, maybe it's over by now.
Yeah.
Like it's right before Paris.
Yeah, the last couple days. If you follow some of like the raw denim sort of influencers, like Swiss Jeans Freak, I think he was out there. What was it called? Union Showroom.
Yes.
Union Showroom. So this is another trade show. So right now, like all the world's brands, except for us, all the world's brands are out about in the world showing off their wares to the retail community. So all the retailers are traveling and making their buys for the next season. The reason why we're not doing that is because I will say I don't want to participate in that.
Well,
it's not that I'm not hating on anyone who does it. I'm just saying that for a brand of our size, going to a trade show is not exactly the best use of funds.
Right. I mean, we talked about this last week, I think. But yeah, it's a lot of money, and for us, like a very independent brand, it is not worth it as much especially because after COVID, I think this was kind of like a good thing that came out of that era was that people figured out how to, well, at least we really had the approach to like here, like you're not touching it. That's missing it, and you don't get to have face-to-face time with the buyers. But at the same time, we can show most of like all the information, all the like look of the fabric, and we can describe as much as we can about these new products in a video that's chaptered, and you can watch it anytime you want with the line sheet like showing right next to it. That kind of makes the buying a
lot easier, a little more simple for the retailer. So that spring summer 25 video that I shared with you guys, that's exactly the video that we send to our retail partners. So we produce a video like that. We go over all the details of all the products that are coming out, and they can plan their buys based on that. And that way, I would say that some retailers travel, some retailers don't travel. And for the ones that don't travel, at the very least, now they have something that's very clear and easy to understand when they're placing their buy. A lot of companies, they're just going to send you a PDF with some pictures. And, I would say that as a buyer for many years, you deal with brands like that, and it's hard to pick, right? You really have to know the line very well in order to work that way. But if they have something new, something interesting, it's easy to pass on something because it's just a picture and sometimes little to no description of what it is. So
but it depends on the brand. Like our brand is more focused on the fabric. The fit is pretty
standard.
Basic. Like we keep the fit like season over season, so people know our fits already. So it's a lot easier that way. To like just kind of focus on the fabric, and if your brand is not about the fabric, then maybe you just want to show the shape or whatever. But it's I don't know, for us I think it's working in terms of like booking, and people are not like being surprised when we ship something. No, not in a bad way. Like we try to like.
We're a little bit more drop based rather than like, I say spring summer 25 season, but I would say back in the old days, even now, if you work with a department store or retailer, they expect if you're shipping spring summer 25, all of your spring summer 25 better be in the store by March, right? And we're not. We have a sort of something that comes out every month, right? And that's just the way our production works. We have very, very slow production. We're using specialized and rare materials. And in order to work on like this sort of seasonal scheduled, schedule, it's I would say very challenging. And I don't think that that's the world that I don't really want to live in that world anymore. Where it's like, everything is very, like, everything comes out right now, and that's the season. I like to give myself time. If we want to create something new and special, we can just create it, and then we can release it when it's ready to be released, right? And so that way you can really focus on something. So, if something's not ready in time, you're not really feeling the pressure. Right. You can just take your time, make everything the way, you want it to be made, and release it at the time of release.
I mean, so that's kind of why like we're still kind of getting in, and you know, we do like fabric development early enough, but sometimes it takes a long time. And you know, the thing is, like, if we're not happy with the, you know, sample that came up, like we are not forced to like bring it to the show and sell it,
right?
Even though we're not 100% happy about it. So it's nice to have that, you know, like if anything is wrong, we can always fix it and always like, you know, push it back later. That kind of you know, it gives us a little bit more room to be, you know, perfectionist. I guess
100%. A good example. Let's start off with the first preview. So this is a fall winter 25 preview, something that's, you know, many months away, but
and this is, we've never shown it before.
So we've shown this, but so this is a sample of our blanket line, real indigo blanket lined French terry. Now this is a fabric that we wanted to release for fall winter 24.
Yeah. I think originally we're thinking even earlier.
But you know, there were some challenges with the dye. Then, you know, challenges with the dye. Like it was going to be ready, sort of not in the right timing for us. It was going to be ready for like a spring, although it was like a heavier item, so we wanted to push it to the fall. And then there was like a problem with like availability of certain yarns. So this eventually just got pushed back and back and back because it either wasn't ready, it wasn't the right, you know, dye, you know, we were looking for. And so, you know, one setback after another, we actually had to redevelop this fabric, which is what we have right here. So originally, real indigo on the outside, so it fades like jeans fade, and then with a classic sort of blanket stripe looking interior like you would see on a classic denim jacket. And now we have this version. Yeah,
the indigo yarn outside is the same, but as you can like notice, you see much less of the stripes on the back. That's because we changed the colors of the stripes in the inside, and it's a little bit more dark colored. So we got the nice yellow, like kind of like an accent pop color, and then
the neps
brown
really pop on that brown,
and this brown, and then this navy, you know, indigo color in the middle. So this blanket color, I feel like it looks a little bit more warm, which I really like, and it kind of goes with, you know, we're kind of doing a lot more earthy colors this season. Yeah. So it kind of goes well with that. And then I also really do like the fact that you don't see much of the stripes on the front. Yeah. And this is unwashed. I am doing a test wash as we speak right now. It's in the washing machine. So this has been once washed. Yeah. So that's why maybe you see, compared to the like raw one, this is raw. So the color of the indigo changes with the wash. Although is this
No, I think that's the wash one.
Oh, this is the wash. Yeah. Sorry. So this is the once washed. This one. So it gets a little bit more blue rather than the purple. The same thing as, you know,
raw
if
jeans.
You buy a jeans or something like that. So I'm excited to see what this new fabric is gonna look after wash. But even without after wash, it will just change the color of the indigo a little bit.
And the color is just fantastic. The warm tone, like you said, really adds to it, and it makes it a lot more subtle on the outside. So I think a lot more people are gonna enjoy this one. And this just goes to show, you know, it was like, we could have released this when we released it, but we took our time, and I think we made something even better. Right?
I am happier with this.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
So, you know, these samples are samples, and, you know, we spent a lot of money on these samples, but ultimately, I think the customer is going to be happier with this one. So, that's your first preview of fall winter.
Yeah.
25.
Real indigo dye that's going to fade, and even the ribs are made, ribs for the sleeves and collar and stuff like that. That will be made with indigo dyed yarns. So
yeah, and so ultimately, my dream for this line is that the interior stripes will be based off of vintage blankets. So we're starting here with sort of like a classic jean jacket style blanket lining on the interior. But over time, I want to go through like historical blankets and maybe recreate some of those patterns on the inside of these. So we'll have a real indigo on the outside and then a new blanket pattern, stripe, whatever it is, on the inside. I think that'll be pretty cool.
And one thing we forgot to mention is that like in this the inside part, we do have a little bit of wool, a little bit of acrylic mixed in to really replicate the like blanket lined jacket feel.
That and for those people who synthetics, even in those old vintage jean jackets, they were not 100% cotton. They were blended.
The way that you have these speckles is you have to use the like acrylic or some kind of man-made fibers. Yeah.
So it is true to the vintage in terms of that respect. So yeah, that is.
But with a little bit of wool in the mix, it also keeps you warm. I would imagine. We haven't wear tested it, but I think it's got the like nice and cozy feel. Yeah. Also.
Brian writes, I like the new version better. When will this be available?
Fall 25.
Fall 25. Yeah. So it's a ways away. At least 9 to 10 months away. Probably 9 months away from now.
Yeah, 8 to 9 months.
Probably. I would say probably October.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Okay. October,
Okay, Russell says, keep up the good work, Bahzad and Risa. I love the double heavyweight shirts I bought from you. Well, thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying them. Steven writes, what's the damage going to be on that hoodie? Damage.
The indigo?
Yeah.
No, we don't have any of the prices yet.
Prices are still TBD. But as soon as we know, we'll let you know. Okay, Hong writes, looking forward to the new drop ahead. I noticed that there's a sizing difference between the pull-over crew neck and hoodie. Is it safe to say the crew neck is about a size up in equivalence? The crew neck is about a size up in equivalence? I think the pullovers are a little bigger than the crew necks, I find. Like in terms of like the fit.
Yeah.
So
that's just a fit choice though. Yeah. And most people would wear the same size.
Yeah.
Unless you want your hoodie to fit you tight and crew neck to be loose on you. Yeah. You wouldn't take a different size.
The bottom line always, check the measurement guide. The measurement guide never lies. I watched a video yesterday on I guess somebody had just picked up a pair of Naked and Famous raw jeans. They wanted to do their initial impressions video. And, I get all these suggestions on YouTube, so I watched it. And I couldn't believe, the guy, he styled the jeans nicely and everything, but all of the advice he gave in this video was literally all of the wrong advice. It was just, size down, wear them tight, that kind of stuff. Don't do any of those things. As you guys, I'm sure many of you guys know, it's always follow the measurement charts. It was like, I normally wear a size 36. I had to size down to a 32. I'm like, 34. I'm like, no, don't do that. And then he's like, and they're a little snug, but I went and exchanged them. I got them a little bit smaller. I'm like, no, don't. You're not gonna wear them. What's gonna happen is he's like, yeah, they're really tight, and they're probably gonna stretch out. I'm like, no. What's gonna happen in 3 weeks? You're gonna be struggling with these, and then you're gonna put on some other pair of pants that you have that are clearly more comfortable, and you're never gonna wear those again. That's what's gonna happen on that journey, and so that's what happens.
Yeah. And you know, like we do get a lot of sizing questions all the time. And, you know, the thing is, like, we kind of have to answer it. It sounds cold, but, like, you have to figure it out yourself. We're not there to help you, like, physically. And it's very difficult. Like, you know, a lot of people, again, like, says, like, this is my height, this is my weight. Like, but I don't know what you look like. I don't know if you're, like, you know,
if you're all belly, if you're all legs, if you're all, like, you know,
it's impossible for us to know what is actually the best size, and we don't know your preference in fits either. Some people want your hoodie to be like
massive and
big or small fitted. T-shirts, same thing. T-shirts, especially, some people would really, you know, or particular with how, you know, how much room you have in a t-shirt. So it's especially when it comes to, like, what you know, what size you know, what size fits you. You have to look at the measurement guide. You have to look at the website. You have to do your own research. You have to measure the t-shirts that you like or hoodie you like, and then compare the measurements. There's no way around it.
Yeah, there's no way around it. You know, we try our best to guide you, you know, but the measurement guide is your friend. Jason says the tape measure is your friend. The tape measure is your friend.
Yes.
You can really go no wrong if you have a garment that you like, that fits you well. Measure it, compare it to the measurement guides. I will repeat this in every live stream for the rest of history.
Yes, we've been doing this for a long time.
And I like to believe, and I do believe, that a lot of people have figured that out. They understand it. Of course, there's people who are tuning in for the first time. There's always new people. Some people who have to hear this again. So we're always going to repeat it. I know we sound like a broken record, but it's got to be reiterated every time.
Yeah, but like, once you know, like, oh, in the t-shirts I want, you know, how many inches in the chest. Once you know that information, like, you can, you know, you can apply that on any other brands, you know, who have the actual measurement on the website, and figure out your size for other brands too.
JP says sometimes you have to ignore small, medium, large on the tag and use the tape measure.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. All of the time, ignore that.
Yeah, every brand is different. You know, small, medium, large is a great gauge. Like, you know, I'm probably in the medium.
You are not going to be like extra small in one brand and double XL in our brand or anything like that. But, you know, each brand has its own standard.
Oh, yeah. And even countries, right? Small in one country is going to be small. A Japan medium is a North American small or extra small, generally. And the thing
is, like, we're, you know, a vast majority of our, you know, customer base is in the West. So, like, we do have a Western sizing. We definitely do not have a Japanese sizing.
Yeah.
But there's still people who says, like, oh, I went with my usual tag size and it was a lot smaller than I thought. Yeah. So, you know, there are brands that are way bigger than ours in sizing. So
I bought a jacket here the other day, and, like, I had to go extra large. There was just you know what I mean? I'm not an extra large, but I had to go extra large. It's just, you know, the size doesn't really, you know, mean anything. It's just whichever jacket fits you is the one that fits you. But, you know, again, different countries, different standards, different measurements. So the measurements will never lie. So always rely on that. And if a website isn't, you know, providing you with the measurements, ask them. You know, I would say the smaller independent stores are probably either they could maybe measure it for you or they'll have it listed. The department stores, the big stores, those are the stores that generally don't have that kind of information, but you guys already know that. Nicholas says, I don't have access to a dryer. What's the best way to get the shrink out? I've just been washing on cold and drying on a warm day, but I'm wondering if I should do a hot soak in the bathtub. I would say if you've been... a hot soak in the bathtub will probably shrink it as much as the garment is ever going to shrink. Right?
Probably.
Yeah. There's very little shrink. Like, in our garments, 3 to 5% shrinkage. Depending on the garment, like with double heavyweight t-shirts, very, like, 1 to 2%. Like, very, very little. It really doesn't move. So, if you're trying to shrink it, you know, the warmer the better in terms of like as much shrink as you're going to get. But I think if you left it in a hot soak in the bathtub for, a while, it'll probably get the shrink out.
Yeah, and another thing is if you're hang drying it, obviously the gravity pulls, things down. So if you want to if you don't want the
garment to stretch
in the length, you have to
flat dry
it. Let it dry.
Jason says, once you know your own measurements, buying vintage is a breeze too, with zero headaches. Absolutely. Abidi says, when in doubt, reach out. I asked Tate for an old size chart to confirm sizing on a new old stock pair. That's it. That information is saved. At least on Tate. There's a whole archive of old measurements. Okay. Anyhow, if I missed your question, ask it again. I want to get into what we're doing after the live stream today.
Yes.
So we have a new opportunity ahead of us. As you guys know, we've been trying to open up a Wonder Looper showroom, office, warehouse space, something where we can expand our, the amount of inventory that we can carry at one time. A little bit more of a professional environment to work out of, and a place where you guys who come to visit Japan can come and shop. And so we've got another appointment today. We've looked at 3 places before, and unfortunately none of those places worked out for us. Other people rented them. Now we've got a place in Harajuku to look at, which I think is...
It wasn't really our intention to go there, but, at this point, I feel like the location is obviously important, but, it's all a balance of the room we need. The thing is, we're starting to realize we need way more room than we thought we might need. So we need room, and we need the vibe. We don't... The thing is, it's kind of difficult for us to be let's just, rent a space and, get all the permissions and gut it out and, design it from scratch. I don't think we have time or resources or vision to do that, honestly. So it's best that if we could find something that we can work with. Obviously we're gonna, put on
our furniture and all,
Yeah, put on our own touch for sure, but the touch needs to be not, the entire thing.
Yeah, so, completely from scratch.
Yeah, so there's a lot of office spaces that are really officey, the tile carpet and, really bad ceiling and all that. And it's just, it's impossible for us to kind of be ready to just change that, all of that, because a lot of the office they don't want you to do that, first of all, and it costs a lot of money. And when you see the space, we have to be able to picture it, even if we're ready to do that. And I don't know, we're not so comfortable in that. Well,
I just don't want to drop $100,000 renovating a place, and if it's gonna how can I say it, not work out for us to flush all that down the toilet.
Right, exactly. We don't know how long we want that space for.
Right.
We're seeing okay, we for the next couple years we probably are okay with this size space.
Yeah.
But who knows how long that's gonna last. So, anyways, with that said, we found a space that looks kind of nice.
Yeah.
To begin with, and enough space, not extreme amount of money.
Yeah, not too expensive, and really in the heart of Harajuku.
Yes.
So if you've ever been to Tokyo or you know anything about Tokyo, Harajuku is the fashion capital of the city. Mm-hmm. Right?
I
Harajuku
Ginza.
Well, okay, well if you know it, you don't know it. Anyhow. Yeah. It is where it's all happening. Gwen Stefani has that song Harajuku Girls. I think she made it famous for the world.
Yes.
And everybody comes here. Every brand, from every teeny bopper, little girly brand to high fashion brands and everything in between, it's all packed in here. So everybody who visits Tokyo at some point finds themselves in Harajuku.
And when we say Harajuku, it's it's kind of deceiving because the Harajuku station is kind of at the end of that area, that like literal like hub of fashion. It goes basically like, because Harajuku station is right next to the Yoyogi Park. So like obviously in the park, it's just a park.
Yeah.
Like the area that goes kind of towards a little bit south, east and west too. But like this area is what we call Harajuku, and the space that we're looking at today is actually more closer to the center of the action.
Right.
So I think, and we have another station that's like literally, I don't know, it's like maybe 4 or 5 minute walk from Harajuku Station.
Also called Harajuku Station.
Well, in parentheses, Meiji Jingu Station is, parentheses Harajuku Station. It's basically the same station. And so we're very close from that station, but like literally we're in the actual center of the action. Yeah. So
I would say like as like I've been a Japanese streetwear lover from the late 90s when I first kind of discovered this whole world of Japanese fashion, and to think, hey, this hasn't happened yet, let's knock on wood, maybe it's gonna happen, right? To go back from like those days to think, oh, I'm gonna have a store, I'm gonna have a place of business in Harajuku, that's crazy to me to think that. Like, it's exciting because, we thought about some other neighborhoods like Ibisu and Nakameguro, which they're popular, but they're a lot more low-key than Harajuku. Like, a lot more low-key.
It's less touristy, I would say.
So, anyhow, after this live stream today, we're going to go there. We're going to check it out. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it looks good. It's got everything that we need. And, we'll put our application in and
maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. And so...
And the reason like why we're considering this neighborhood is the fact that like we didn't really like this area because it's always crowded, right? Like it doesn't matter what day or what's happening, what weather, like there's so many people always, and I hate that. So I didn't really want to be close to that, but this particular spot is like so close to the station. We don't really have to worry
fight
about
the crowds.
that. And it's in the like back street. Even though it's very, very convenient, it's actually like once you get into the back street, it's kind of a little bit more chill. So hopefully this place works out. Yeah, there's one major street called Takashita Dori. And that, like, when you think Harajuku girls going to Stefani, that's the street. Like, that's mega crazy, like, teeny bopper land. And then, like, you can go one street over, like, where Nike is and everything. And, like, even that's really busy. And, like, we're one street over from that where it gets a little bit more chill. But, like I said, we're in the middle of the action. If you're coming to Japan, you're going to be there. So it's a nice, convenient location for you to pop into. Anyhow, we'll keep you posted. Hayes T says, what happened to the Harajuku girls? They're still there.
As a dance troupe, I don't know, but if you want to see girls that look like that, they're in Harajuku. They never left. They're all there.
I guess maybe there are much less of them. I don't know.
I don't know
actually.
Probably
less.
I kind of avoid going down Takashita Street because it's fun if you're a tourist. It's like because it's crazy. Like you just it's wild because there's so much retail and people going around and just even if you're a young person, like it's got to be just so exciting. You go to Tokyo and you see all this fashion and excitement happening. But as an older person,
well, especially like now that you live here, there's like we go to places with a purpose. We're not just walking around town like
tourists. Yeah.
And it's not ideal for walking through that. Like if you have to walk through like that way, you take another road because it's gonna take you like 20 minutes to walk where you can walk in like 5 minutes.
Nicholas says, I was in Harajuku a couple of weeks ago and it was packed. way more than I've seen
Yeah,
in
and
the
it's
past.
mostly tourists,
a lot of tourists
now.
now,
So it's like, I mean, I don't want to like, discourage anybody from like, going and experiencing it. But the thing is like, it's half, maybe more than half the people are not the Harajuku girls that as you describe them. They're just tourists. So it's nice to see the stores, and there are actually people walking around that are shopping that area. But yeah, there's a lot of
there's a lot of tourists.
A lot of people.
I would say pro tip if you're coming to Japan, if you want to avoid the tourists but you want to go shopping, come to Yokohama. For real, like it's busy. Like if you go to like Yokohama Station and the malls out there, it's busy, but it's very, I would say the ratio of tourists is very low. For some reason, like people just sort of skip Yokohama.
Yeah.
Even though it's not hard to travel to, from central Tokyo, you can get to Yokohama in like Yokohama Station like 30 minutes.
Yeah. But there is no Harajuku in Yokohama.
There's no Harajuku.
There's no equivalent.
Yeah, that's true. But still, come to Yokohama. There's a lot to see.
It's got its own charm.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Especially if we go to Minatomirai and all that area, like it's, it's got its own thing.
Yeah. Steven says, what should I do in Japan if I hate humans?
Ooh. Ooh.
Look, there's a lot of ways that you can do Tokyo on the quiet, but if you want to do Japan on the quiet,
if you like go out of like
the major like city areas, you can do a lot.
There's a lot of nature things that are like it's not like you have to be surrounded by like crazy amount of people all the time. Like if you go into the mountains, like there's a lot of beautiful things that you can do that doesn't involve like crowd.
Yeah. Or even if you want to do Tokyo, just avoid like major shopping areas. I mean, like that's where the crowds are going to be. Harajuku, Ginza, Tokyo Station, like that kind of stuff. But, there's a lot of like smaller little neighborhoods here and there that they might be busy, but they're not busy like Harajuku or Tokyo Station busy. So there's a lot to do, a lot of nature stuff to do. If you like coffee, there's like a gajillion coffee shops that you can go to. If you want to do, here's my favorite thing, because a lot of people going to like fancy coffee shops, and they're fine. But the best ones are the Kissaten. Kissaten are the best coffee shops. They are old school. These are coffee shops that have probably been around for like 40, 50 years. The furniture reflects that. Nothing's changed. They're very old school. You go in there, you get a coffee, you get a waffle, and, you can smoke inside if you like to smoke. They've got newspapers there for you to read. It's all old people in there, and it's such a old school look at Japan, and it still exists, which I love. And they're still around. You might have to seek them out a little bit here and there. And you know what they're also good at often? Like some like ice desserts, like ice cream floats and
like
soda.
Parfait kind of look.
Yeah.
But it's so there's resurgence of that culture. So there's new ones.
Yeah.
Like there's like brand new ones that are like retro style.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like this similar looking like drinks and like vibe and the furniture and all that, but it's brand new. So there are ones that are like like the new ones usually actually don't allow you to smoke.
Right.
So the real ones, real old school ones are like the ones that are filled with like smoking old men.
Yeah.
And those are actually the fun ones to go to.
I prefer those ones. Like one that there's not a lot of pictures here, but if you go to a place in the city called Nakano Broadway, the artist Murakami, he has a sort of a retro inspired Kissaten there that you can go to, and it looks pretty cool. Like it looks really cool. And in Nakano Broadway, it's like this really run down mall with a lot of weird stuff in it. Like you
with
can buy
a lot of like vibrant businesses. Like
you can
run
buy
down mall that has like probably brings in way more money than like a typical.
Yeah, like if you want to buy vintage and like luxury watches, there's like 20 stores that specialize it, and like literally the mall looks like it's like run down with black mold everywhere, and then they have like these stores that are like gorgeous in there. It's weird. And then you have like stores that look very sketchy, and then you've got like weird retro toy stores. It's a really cool mall. I would say, like, again, these days a lot more tourists know about it, but I said like many years ago you go in there and it was a local, generally speaking, very local. More people know about it. A lot of people go to Akihabara, and then because if you want sort of like nerdy stuff, they go there. But there's a lot of that nerdy stuff in Nakano Broadway as well.
There's a lot of nerdy stuff.
And a lot of people have found out that Nakano is maybe a little bit more. In my opinion, I like it better than Akihabara for that kind of stuff.
It's got more character. Yeah. I mean, Akihabara is very central and very like there's the quirky little shops.
Yeah.
Too, but I mean, there's massive stores as well. So
yeah,
this mall, it's also like it's very deep nerd stuff too. Like if you're into something,
there's a store for it. Yeah. Like if you're into specifically like vintage trains, there's a store that it's not like a toy store where they have all the different toys. This store only sells vintage trains. Or if you're into like remember phone cards back in the day, for some reason there's a lot, like in Japan they were very popular, and like phone cards would have like pictures of like anime and like different models and girls and singers and that kind of stuff. And of course nobody uses phone cards today, but there would be a store there that just has old phone cards, because if you want that old nostalgic one with the baseball player that you like, well, they got it, and it might be $500 and it seems like a waste of money, but if you really like that card, you can find it there, and they got it. Mm-hmm. So it's very, very nerdy in that sense.
Very serious, yeah.
Like
deep.
Yeah. So this is a really cool Kissaten to check out. It's a little less, I would say, authentic in the sense that it's not a gajillion years old, and I would say that an old school Kissaten isn't as vibrant as a place like this, but it has the feel, and you're gonna have a nice experience here, right? And if you don't like smoke, then there's certainly no smoking here.
I don't know about this place.
I don't think they'll let you smoke in here.
Maybe.
But there's probably some Kissatens in Nakano Broadway.
Oh, 100%.
That let you smoke.
I'm surprised the mall doesn't let you smoke and
yeah.
like just down the
down the aisles. Yeah, it is a very strange mall that I absolutely love. It's weird. There's also, if you want something very special, at the ground floor, not the ground floor, the lowest level basement floor, there's an ice cream stand that has, it's like a soft serve ice cream, and they have one where they'll give you the works, all the flavors. So it's like 10 flavors of ice cream, and like this thing stacks up like this.
Cute little pastel colors, and like it's a rainbow of pastel colored ice cream that's like this tall, basically.
And it's like $5-6, something like that. It's not.
I don't know about that, but
well, whatever it is, it's fun, especially on a hot day.
American dollars, it's nothing.
Yeah. So
it's very photogenic, but I don't think you can eat the whole thing. You probably need like 4 people too. Yeah.
But yeah, anyhow, it's Nakano Broadway is a cool place. Kissaten is definitely a nice place to visit when you come to Japan.
And Kissaten, I'm not like a linguist, or I don't really know about anything, but I think Kissaten just means like kids is like smoking, and like sa tea. So it was, I think it was invented for smoking and drinking tea or coffee. So it's got, that like retro vibes. Yeah. I do like it.
Yeah.
And you actually see like, the Kissaten that's near us, like if we go there, like more than half the people are smoking. Yeah. And it's like, if you don't like the smell of the smoke, you probably want to avoid the actual Kissaten, because it's like in the air, like it's in the ceilings, it's in the like. Yeah,
I've been to ones that are, it's like you go in there, it's like a smoke box. I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I don't partake. But I actually don't mind the smell of cigarettes. I like every now and then. I kind of
I mean,
kind
a
of nice.
lot of like men's like cologne is tobacco. Smell.
Right. So I don't go to these things every day, but once in a while, it's not going to hurt you. But it is funny because sometimes you'll go in and they're like, "Do you want the smoking section or the not smoking section?" And it's like
not smoking section.
There is no partition. It's just
section.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to sit next to someone who's smoking, or do you want to sit 2 tables down from someone who's smoking?
We share the same air.
Yeah, it's all the same. But yeah. Gary says, any cool anime shops in that area? In Nakano Broadway, there will be a lot of stores that specialize in manga, anime, old video games. There's a chain of stores called Mandarake, and they have several locations in that mall.
Yeah, they basically run the mall, I think. They have their headquarter offices in there, too. They have shipping centers, all that stuff.
Yeah, they'll ship it to you. Like, you could buy it there, and then they'll ship it to your home country there. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of neat. But they'll have locations that, like, this is the video game location. We only have video games. This other one is, like, old books. This one's just for books. This one's old manga, just for manga.
The cell... like
animation
cells. Yeah, if you have like anime that you like and you want to get actual cells from like
if you like Dragon Ball, you're like, okay, I want that over 9,000 cell from the show.
You can probably
they probably have it there, and so it's pretty cool. Maybe we'll open a Nakano Broadway location. Maybe. Let's focus one thing at a time. That said, Shang Style says, how's the rent cost in Harajuku compared to other popular shopping districts? It all depends, right? It depends on how premium that location is. We're not on like the main street in a giant...
Sorry, I gotta take this.
Oh, Risa's got a call. We're not on a main street in a giant, retail, like street level storefront. There you're probably looking, tens of thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. We're in a small, I think it's going to be like 75 square meter, 750 square feet, 750 square feet, 75 square meter, around something like that. Office space. So second floor office space. And it's going to be, the store is going to be mostly like, as far as retail, as you guys walking in, it's going to be mostly appointment based. So, you let us know when you're going to come in. We'll make sure that we're there. We'll probably be there most days anyways, but it'll be more appointment based. So as far as
all appointment based.
Yeah. So as far as like the cost, I would say it's like not for what we're looking at cost wise. It's not much different than any other shopping district who has an office space on the second floor, non-street level store. Mm-hmm. Right. So. It's not terrible.
I mean, non-street level is one thing, and then it's we're also I'm finding out there's a lot of like variation in like the price range, and it can depend on a lot of things. But like certain things we don't care about. We don't need it to be a fancy building with super high security or anything like that, and we don't need like all kinds of like extra things. We just need the space. We just need the we do need an elevator.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't, we're not so picky. Yeah. So there are ones that are very, done up and like really expensive. We're not necessarily looking at that. I think we're we in real life we're very savvy shoppers.
Yeah.
We try not to be wasteful. We want good deals. So in real estate as well, we're kind of shopping for the best deal we can get with the highest quality.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah. So, we don't want to be too frivolous with our money. We're certainly careful with how we spend. It's a company. You can't just spend it all. You got to be careful. Rogelio says, hello, waiting on the triple heavyweight to restock. Triple heavyweight tees, fall winter 25. So that's going to be an annual thing, I feel.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Sherpa Kuma says, good morning from Osaka. Good to see you. I heard about you guys from the Iron Snail. Do you sell your clothing line at any stores in Osaka? Thanks. No stores in Osaka. Currently in Japan, we sell to one store called FFFFFFT. They carry only white t-shirts. And we are looking to open our own retail establishment.
I feel like out of everybody who's our retail partners,
they
we
get
talk
heard the most,
about
because we get a lot of people in the chat asking like, where can I buy in Japan? Because
Yeah.
people are coming, people are traveling, they want to shop, and so that's why we want to have our own space. It will be in Tokyo. Maybe one day we'll expand out. I would say that in Japan, hot Sukajan.
Number one.
Steady hand.
Big hands.
Okay, like in the chat, if you know where that comes from. So in Japan, independent retail is, I would say, fairly rare. It is not as common as it is in the West. And a lot of the retail business here, sometimes they might even look independent. They're not independent. They're owned by like a rather large conglomerate who owns a lot of different retail chains, and like 80-90% of the products in the store are products that they themselves make or have the license to make. So it's hard to get into these retail stores to begin with, because they're just really not going to prioritize, say, a third-party brand, and which I understand, makes sense. They're not really going to prioritize that, and even if they did bring you in, and this is just in my experience with Naked and Famous and all of my friends who've ever sold to any sort of department stores in Japan, because they don't put priority on you, they're not really a partner in the sense that like they want to help you grow. They're looking for trends generally. So if the trend is fleece jackets, maybe they'll go to a trade show and they'll find a couple of fleece jacket brands, and they'll bring in the fleece jackets, and they sell them for one season, and next year the trend is purple overalls. Well, now they're going to stop carrying fleece jackets. It doesn't really matter if they sold well or didn't sell well. It doesn't matter. They're off to the next thing. So you're in, you're out. It's not consistent, and so it's a very difficult business to chase, And
especially like with Naked and Famous and Wonder Looper, we're very specialized items. Like we don't necessarily do a whole range of like with Naked and Famous we obviously did jeans, woven shirts, denim jackets and all that stuff, but we didn't do like any like real sweaters and the whole entire wardrobe kind of thing, right? Like because what we were focusing on was having good like interesting jeans made, and that like not that like everything else was a side thing, but that was our brand. Like, and I think in the West there's a lot of like stores that can like really appreciate that, whereas like in Japan it was more like, what is your brand aesthetics, like that was the thing, or and with Wonder Looper too, like we're just kind of really focusing on like developing interesting fabric, and we're not really, I wouldn't say like we wouldn't expand. Obviously we want to expand to other things, but like we're really focusing on t-shirts and sweatshirts, so we don't have anything else. If you want jeans, like you have to go to another brand to get it, and that's not really the mentality of like independent store buying things in Japan. So.
It also, I would say that because our like the way we put products out is very much like when it's ready, it's ready. And when you work with independent retailers, they get it. They understand that. But, department stores and sort of this type of business, there's a delivery window. You hit this window, you better be on schedule, or else the order is canceled. And it's like, well, they could put in an order for $100,000 worth of hoodies, and if it's a week late, well, see you later. We don't want those hoodies anymore.
But I feel like that's everybody in larger retailer attitude.
But that's, it's like, I don't want to, I'm going to say it, I don't want to be a part of that. I hate that mentality. I hate that cycle. I think it's terrible. And I will not be a part of it. I'm not interested in it. I don't need to be a part of it. And I feel that a lot of independent brands have started to learn that you can be creative on your own terms without having to be locked into this terrible fashion cycle schedule. No, I understand you make spring clothes for the spring, summer clothes for the summer. I get it. Like, what are you going to do? Release swim shorts in October? I mean, it's just not the right time for it. So I understand that there's some amount of, the timing needs to be right. But the way they work, it is not flexible for independent brands, and I would say independent brands that want to be creative and want to create something very, very special. And, you can't put a timer on that. And they do, and that works for giant companies that are designed for that, just pump out product because the stores need product. They really don't care what they have. If you got something for us, we got to put it on the shelves and the people are going to buy it. It's not exactly how I want to work.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to try and compete with that.
Yeah, it's just really, in general, difficult for independent brands to mix with the very large corporation stores. It's not the same world. We sometimes like those large corporation retail stores conglomerate, like they want to pick the just the cool new things that's popping up in the market, but it's really not a good match. It's just a bad idea. And for independent brands that's starting up, like a massive purchase order is very attractive. So because you're used to getting like a little bit of money here and there from these little independent stores that actually may or may not pay the bills, to be fair. Like there are, things that happens in that, on that end, but it's a lot more work. And if somebody flashes $1 million PO, like you're going to be like, okay, well, maybe I can, make this brand bigger and do this. But it's a lot of the times, if you're not ready for that stage, it's very difficult. It's going to be, trouble after trouble. And, even though it's a lot of money, you're maybe making a lot less in terms of, and you have to kind of sacrifice everything else.
And I say there's a lot of risk. Say you're a small independent brand and somebody flashes $1 million PO, right? Here's $1 million PO. Okay, well, you're in a small independent brand. You don't have the funds to make all that product, right? And so they're not going to pay you in advance. They're going to pay you 60, 90, 120 days after you've delivered all those goods. So here you need to go to the bank and say, or your friends or your family, or somehow raise all the money so that you can buy all the fabric, buy all the material, put that stuff into production, then deliver it, and then sit on your hands and hope that they pay you on time.
And, the same thing could happen with independent stores, but the damage for each one of them is very small.
Yeah. Right. And I would say that, look, the chance of this happening is low, but it happens where maybe they owe you $1 million, or maybe they owe you $500,000, whatever it is that they owe you. They start paying, it's 120 days. Okay, we'll start paying you little by little. Here's $20,000 here, here's $40,000 there. But it turns out that the company is actually in a lot of financial trouble right now. And because we're in a lot of financial trouble, our sales staff and all the stores aren't exactly the greatest anymore, and we actually didn't sell your product very well, and we're sitting on it, and so we've marked it down significantly, and now your retail partners out there who are trying to sell it, at regular price are like, well, they have it for 90% off. How can I sell this stuff? And so they stop carrying your brand because it's a whole thing that you gotta consider. And it's like, it's nice, I guess, for the consumer. They got a nice special deal, you get a crazy deal on it. But as the brand, it's like, well, now I've lost business on this hand to make money over here. And then sometimes that retailer might turn around and say to you, you know what? I want to send this all back. And I would say I've had experiences with this with our previous job where, you'll have one of the big department stores, the big ones. They have product. They're like, well, it didn't sell well. I'm like, well, it didn't sell well because everybody else sold this well. You didn't sell it well because, you're not set up properly, you don't have the right staff, whatever it is. I've even had department stores tell me, like the buyer will tell me, oh yeah, such and such manager at that location didn't even put the product out. Like it just sat in a box for like 3 months. And so here they have a 0%, literally 0% sell-through because they forgot to put the product out. And I'm responsible for the sell-through. So if you don't have a certain sell-through threshold at the department store, they're going to turn around and say to you, well, you need to either cut us a check so that we make the margin that we are supposed to make on this product, or we want you to take it back. And so you can either take it back or you can cut them a check. And this is all right before the next season where they're planning your next seasonal buy. So it's like, well, do you want us to buy from you next season? Well, you're either going to have to pay us to buy from you, take all these goods back that we didn't sell, even though it's not really your problem, but it is your problem because we're going to make it your problem. So you end up taking it back. And I would say that that's sometimes why you see, old stuff show back up on, Tate, for example. Mm-hmm. Because you get a return from a customer like that because they twisted your arm. And no thanks. Not interested in working like that. I just want to make product for the people who appreciate it, who know how to sell it, who know how to showcase it properly. And I guess the market out here is just filled with so many of these giant companies. Yeah. Even though they don't appear that way, they're there. And it's hard to want to navigate that.
It's very extreme in both ways. Like there's big companies who are like that, and then there's just tiny little independent stores that have, really basically no money to buy anything. They would just, spend $1,000, $2,000 in the brand a season, and that's very hard to work with as well. Like it is. Like, we have to be very efficient because we're a 2-people team, and, we can't really afford to deal with, because wholesale, like, it's a different game than selling direct. And there's, obviously you don't have to sell each individual unit, one at a time, but there's a lot more, obviously a lot less margin and a lot more problem that comes with it if you have 1 million small, customers.
Yeah.
That's not
You got to reach out to them every time something's ready to ship. Oh, don't ship it this week, ship it next week. Oh, you got to chase for payments. It's a whole thing. So, as far as our distribution goes, we kind of want to keep it clean and tight. People that we know, people that we can trust to work with. Somebody I can ship them the goods. I know they're going to pay me. Right? I don't, when you go to a trade show, for example, you meet all these, new potential customers at a trade show. You've never met them before, and they're placing orders with you right there on the spot. Okay, here's a big order. Okay, that's nice. 6 months later, I've produced the goods. I send them that email. Okay, here's your order. Here's how much this is ready to ship. This is how much it's going to cost to ship. This is your bill. Oh, okay, in 2 weeks I'll pay you. Reach out to me then. 2 weeks you reach out to them, they ghost you. And that happens a lot. And so here you are, like, if you're a big company, that's not really going to hurt your bottom line that much. You have a little bit of extra inventory, fine. You're going to sell it, you're going to distribute it somehow. As a small company, I don't really want to fall into those traps anymore. I've seen them. In my opinion, it's just not worth, even if we got to be big scale, it's just not worth my time to deal with people like that. So I want to deal with people I know.
Exactly.
I know Jay at Blue Owl. I know Tommy. I know them all. I know everybody. Yeah. Right?
Like, we do work with smaller retailers that has a smaller volume than others. But, I think the most important thing is that you have a good communication with them, and you can trust them. Yeah. Because, if the store isn't, set up to sell the products properly, if the store doesn't have the right customers, our products would not sell. And then that's just going to be, a 1 season, 2 season business, and we can't invest time and effort and resources into that. So what we're focusing on is working with people that we know that we can work with, and sometimes we take risks, but most of the time our experience tells us who we can trust, even if we've never worked with them before. So there's this probably a tips section of the video for independent brands.
Yeah.
Choose your customers.
Yeah, choose them wisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it could be tempting to take the money, but sometimes it's not worth the trouble. Hayes T says the Iron Snail sent him our way. Well, thank you very much, Michael. Michael's not here, but thank you, Michael, for sending us so many people, introducing us to so many. And he also says, I assume tourists to the shop from out of country don't pay duties and just put the goods in luggage. So say you come to a Wonderlooper store and you want to buy something. There's a couple of things. In Japan, if you shop for something in Japan, you have to pay taxes generally. So sales tax. It's like, if you visit New York, you buy a sandwich at the store, you pay sales tax, Generally speaking, you pay sales tax in Japan. Now, some stores have this sort of in-store duty-free program. Sorry, not duty-free, tax-free program. And so it's often at, you'd be surprised, small stores, big stores, a lot of them have it where if you spend over a certain amount of money, they don't charge you the tax on the spot, but you need to bring in your passport. They need to fill in some paperwork. They staple it to your passport, and that's it. I don't know if we'll operate like that in the store, but I know that in 2026 in Japan, they're getting rid of this program. So what will then happen is if you shop in Japan, you collect your receipts, and then at the airport, they'll have an area where you submit your receipts, and then they'll give you the money back for the taxes that you paid. I don't know what the threshold of that sort of thing is. I know that other countries technically have this.
Yeah, they all have to, and they do.
Yeah.
I've done it personally myself.
Yeah, some places easier than others. I suspect when Japan does it, it'll probably be easy, but I don't know. They're changing the tax-free shopping rules in the country starting in 2026.
But because they have been offering that kind of service that I've actually never seen any other country.
No other country does it.
Yeah, so because they had that and then they're taking it away, I would imagine that they're gonna be documents or announcements or whatever that you can look up on the internet that just tells you exactly what you need to do. And Japan is very good at that. They are very good at making sure there's a way, a lot of the times, with Europe or whatever, nobody does things like that. So when you bring it to a proper place, even though they're supposed to know how to deal with that stuff, they
just
often
don't know what they're doing.
Don't.
Yeah.
But in Japan, I would imagine that it would be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
A lot of people would try to do that because maybe the last time they came, we didn't have to pay sales tax. Why should I pay sales tax here? Which is actually a very interesting thing that they are taking it away versus it's why did you offer it, man?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I personally think the way they run it now is good. Because not everything, you have to spend a certain amount. Not every store. Okay, whatever. Look, I think it's pretty good, and I feel like it encourages people to shop, and you feel like you're getting a discount because you're not paying the 10% sales tax here. Now you have to pay it and you have to get it back. I don't know. It feels a little backwards, but regardless, that's what's going to be happening down the line.
Yeah. So I would imagine we're not really going to figure out how to set up
the in-store no tax-free situation.
Just for a few months.
I would say that the way around that, anyhow, I don't have to say what the way around it is, but basically you come into the store, you try it on, you buy it online, and then we ship it to your home, and then you avoid the sale. Well,
but then there's going to be
right. Okay, forget it. Anyhow. What'll happen is you buy it in the store, depending on whether we get the in-store tax-free setup or it's just not worth getting it set up to run it for 4 months before the whole system changes.
Yeah, I don't know how easy it is either.
So you will have to pay the consumption tax in the store. And then as far as duties go, that has nothing to do with Japan. That has to do with your home country. Now, depending on where you live or where you are traveling to, they have different rules for how much stuff you're allowed to bring back. Like I know in Canada, if you're out of the country for something like 48 hours, you can bring, I believe it's $800 back into the country. Like, so when you declare it on your little declaration form, it says, have you exceeded the duty-free allowance? And you'll say yes or no. If you say yes, you say you spent $20,000. Okay, well, $800 of it is going to be duty-free, and then the rest of it they're going to calculate based on the commodity that it is. So maybe you'll have to pay some money at the border. Now, every country has a little bit different rules when it comes to that. So, duty is something that you pay in your country, not in Japan. In Japan, it's just going to be sales tax. Either you'll either pay the sales tax, you won't have to pay the sales tax because the store you're shopping at has the sales tax exemption. If you spend a certain amount of money, that whole program is being retired. And then the new program starting in 2026 will be you pay the sales tax and then you get a refund at the airport. So, yeah. Stephen Kopelkamp says, man, Bahzad is dropping an awful lot of duties again this week. Haha. A lot of duties.
It's a lot of duties in there now.
Taxes and tariffs and
yeah.
Very...
And our entire business, it's always about that. I mean, we do a lot of exports.
Right.
We handle that a lot.
A lot of questions come our way on that.
I want to switch gears because we've been ranting nonstop for a couple of subjects.
Right.
But so we also got, we looked at the Indigo blanket line.
Yes. Preview.
Preview. Yeah. That was a first. This one we have shown swatches before, but now we have a sample roll. So we got more bigger piece of fabric for the double heavyweight French terry for fall 25.
Yeah. So for fall winter 25, I'm just going to bring up the website of Wonder Looper, so you guys can take a look at what we've got. 1 second. So here we go. So you guys know our double heavyweight French terry sweatshirts. We're going to be keeping some next season, and we're going to be retiring a few colors next season to make room for the new colors.
Okay.
So
let's go over.
Well, let's go over what's getting retired.
All right.
Okay, we'll start. We're going to build up the anticipation. So retiring next season, ecru, green, khaki. What a handsome model, by the way, I have to say. And red. So what will carry forward is going to be navy, sumi black, and heather gray. So 3 colors carrying forward, and we've got 3 new colors coming up. So let's take a nice close look at them.
First, sage.
Yes.
So sage, it looks a little bit more yellowy in this screen.
A little bit.
But this is more of like a classic olive green, I would say.
Like an olive drab color, like an army green.
Yeah, but a little bit less brown. We named it sage because sage is really the color I would describe it with. There isn't much. It's more. It's a lighter the khaki. But the t-shirt is the same khaki.
Okay.
So take that t-shirt. So it's a little bit more green, and it's a lot less
And in this
dark.
yellow, the khaki looks very brown.
This, I don't know.
The lighting is not great in here.
Anyways, this is more of a green, like a, we went with a little bit less saturated, less dark colors. We went with a little bit more of lighter colors and more tinted, earthy vibe.
Yeah, so this is it compared to the green from last season.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway, Risa's going to be our model here. There you go. So that's the green. Right.
This one we call this Dune.
Yeah.
So Dune is, it's a somewhere between sand and brown.
Yeah.
So it's more.
I'll get the foxfibre.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one also very earthy and not as dark as the khaki that we had before, like this. color. So it's a lot lighter. Here, you're kind of seeing a lot more yellow, I think, in here, but it's a little bit less like warm than I think you see here, depending on what screen you're watching. So this is very confusing. But yeah, again, this is not as dark. Yeah. It is a little bit similar to the Fox 80 double heavyweight brown. Yeah. So yeah.
So if you're looking, I would say that if you're looking for a less expensive option than this, this is going to be a very similar.
Right. This is dyed brown. So this is natural brown. This is dyed brown, but the color group is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last but not least, we got the rust. So rust is more like a brick color. Yeah. It's got a little bit of, orange redness to the brown. So it is a lot more, colored in it. Yeah. Compared to Dune, it will be.
Yeah. So this is foxfibre. This is rust, and this is Dune, snowy. And this is snowy.
Hi.
So, hello, son. Nice for you to join us.
Yeah.
So
these three colors are coming in the fall. We're very excited about it. I know it's a lot of earthy colors, but I think a lot of people can use earthy colors these days. It's a lot of earthy toned people around these days.
Yeah.
So.
And very classic, something that you're going to be able to wear for, I think, many, many years to come.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite? I think the rust.
Yeah, I think mine too.
It's hard, it's always...
Because I don't have anything like this color in my wardrobe.
I just, I like, to be fair, I like all the colors.
Obviously.
If you're gonna make me pick one, I think because I don't have anything in this shade, I would pick that one.
Yeah, exactly the same reason. I don't, and you don't really see a lot of sweatshirt in this color. You see similar to these color groups sometimes, and these.
The most common color groups are like the collegiate style colors, I would say, right? And so this really falls outside of that realm. So I would say all of them are a little bit less common, but this is perhaps, you might have a green sweatshirt in your collection. Yeah. But I doubt you have a rust colored one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a unique color, I think.
So let's just pile them up. These are the 4 new sweatshirt colors coming for fall winter 25.
And there's more.
Yeah.
There's more we're working on.
Right, there's a lot more we're working on. So we're keeping the previews coming as we get them. So like these fabric swatches just arrived this week, and means the samples are in production now. So the factory's going to be taking the rest of the roll and chopping them up and turning them into nice sample garments for us. So
look at the house.
Yeah, very cool. This is. Very cool. The blanket line really stands out a lot.
And this also just kind of really go with the whole family. So, I like it.
So there you have it. Brenton says, need brown body, rust arms, and green kangaroo pocket hood. I wouldn't
want that.
I don't know. I like the idea of a mixed panel. I don't know. As a hoodie, it might look a little...
As a hoodie, yes. Like
I don't. Here's what I don't mind, like a colored hood. I don't know. I'm not sure because for example, back there, Risa's got a great color blocked vest. You have another one too in the back somewhere, and I like it.
Yeah. No, I think it's more very playful, and I like that look, but I don't think you would want that in this.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, I shouldn't tell you what you want and what you don't want, obviously. But we don't have a plan to make that yet. But we should really get moving on ringer tees and things like that. So like a little bit of a contrast t-shirts, more playful kind.
So that'll come. Will you ever make hoodies with cinched cuffing? What do you mean cinched cuffing? We have ribbed cuffs,
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. You're gonna have to Mox. You're gonna have to expand on that one. Filthy Cyber Rat says, "You two are gonna bankrupt me. Help! We don't want to bankrupt you.
No.
You know,
we do not encourage you to bankrupt yourself.
No bankruptcies. Know your limit. Play within it.
Yes. And the thing is, we do tend to bring things back. You know.
Yeah.
With the double heavyweight French Terry, we did 2 years in a row the same color scheme.
Yeah.
So we had,
I think once we have way more room, then we can look back to, bringing back some of the colors, or, maybe, every couple of seasons we bring something back, just to rotate it, because I don't want to end up in a position where we have like 18 colors of something.
Yeah.
In 10 years from now, I'd like to have done 18 colors, but to have them all at one time, I think it might be a little much to manage. So if
I also like,
hearing,
if I also like hearing like what you guys want to bring back. Like the thing about triple heavyweight is like, it was kind of experimental. It was like, a very, very extremely heavy fabric, very expensive t-shirt. And we just wanted to make it just to make it. And we weren't really planning on like, having it all the time. That's why we sold out and that was it. But, because a lot of people are asking for it, that we decided to make it again. So, things like that, we'd like to hear from you guys on like what color you miss, what color you want us to bring back, what, item you want us to bring back and stuff like that. So we'll listen to you and we'll work with what we can.
Leonardo writes, "How do you guys feel about mock necks?"
I don't mind it, but it's not.
Yeah, they're not my. Look, I'm not opposed to them like I'm opposed to cardigans, but it's not my cup of tea.
And it's just not like so classically like
Pick, just pick, just what. Just go over.
But I get the point. Sometimes you don't want a full high neck.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want a little bit like covered here. I don't know. Anyway.
You gotta convince me.
Yeah, it's not something that we are like looking to make because it's such a everybody must have piece.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even as like like if you have like a thermal base layer, like go all the way up or stay here. Just why half your neck? I would say that Brandon always gave me crap about vests because I like down vests, and he's like, just wear a jacket.
I used to think that too, because there are like actually with down vest especially, it's like there's only so much like perfect temperature for down vest.
Japan is. I would say this country, the winter's not extreme. The down vest is great.
I have to say, I wore a lot in the fall, this past fall, and I just kind of started to see the benefit of it. Because you don't, like, when you get in the car or something, you don't have to necessarily take it off.
Right.
Like, your arms are, like, really, comfortable and free. So
I would say in America, too. Like, you're going from your house to your car, or your truck, okay? You got your workwear on, you put the down vest on, you're warm. Get into the truck, you don't have to take it off. You're okay. You got the mobility. Go to wherever you got to go. I think it's perfect. I like the down vest.
And this makes sense logically too, because like you're never gonna wear just because it's cold and you wear a down jacket, you're never gonna wear a down pants. Or unless you're planning on
some Arctic experience.
Yeah. Like your limbs can handle the cold a little bit better than you want your core stay warm. So I guess that in that sense it makes sense, and it does make sense as a middle point. But mock neck is like this much doesn't make a difference in terms of warmth.
Right. Okay, couple more questions here. Steven says, I'd like to see triple heavyweight in more colorways. I could see that.
I can see that, but
give us time.
I don't know. Yeah.
Give us time. Forrest Sun says, when are the Cashmere and Cashmere blend shirts, hoodies coming out again? So Cashmere, Baby Cashmere, we didn't talk about it much this live stream, but Baby Cashmere is in the works for a sample. We'll probably have the pre-order for that sometime in the spring, and then that will deliver in the fall. The Cashmere...
And that's a complete pre-order. We're going to cut to order.
Yeah. And then Cashmere Henleys are coming in the fall. Yeah. Cashmere Blend Henleys are coming in the fall. BD says, a coworker recently asked if I had my 701 GSM hoodie up around my neck to stay warm. I said, it physically cannot go down. It's just a thick boy right there. It's just hanging around.
Yeah.
That's true. Mox writes, cinch cuffs like a more feminine or feminist cut on the hoodies. Like a style that hugs the waist, I guess. I don't know the name. Oh, like a shorter hoodie that's a little bit...
tight in the rib.
Rib area?
Rib. Well, the rib of the fabric is a little bit more tight.
Like a baby Phat jacket from back in the day?
Like that and tight. We actually changed, like the first season...
those baby Phat jackets. I would just say that back in the day, if you had one of these... If you were a female, you didn't mess with this female. My sister had one of these. This was the girl, you didn't mess with her. Where is it? What's going on? This chick. Are they still around? I guess, back in the day it doesn't even apply. It's still in this day. That was the jacket. This kind of style, and then it had a big print on the back. So are you saying like a hoodie like this where like the rib is real big and like
tight?
Yeah, you gotta have that big logo on the back. They still make these, and I don't see anyone wearing them. When I was young, all the girls in my neighborhood had these jackets.
Yeah, I think nowadays like the shorter jackets are not like cinched. The word. It's not it's kind of open. I guess that's cold.
I'm gonna be real. Good. I liked the way this looked.
This is it doesn't also look irrelevant now either.
No, this looks perfectly.
I mean, a lot of people are wearing like shorter jackets. Right. Just like think though. I mean, if you're wearing yoga pants, the workout pants underneath, like you're really only keeping your top half.
Yeah. The jacket is just an accessory at this point. I mean, it's this. I mean, it would be this, some kind of tight pants, and some like lugs or some Timbs. That was pretty much that was the outfit.
We're not planning on making that, but to be fair, like our first season, the hoodies had a little bit more.
They were wider at the bottom.
Yeah, the rib was not as.
Cinched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did make that little bit of a change, but I don't think we're trying to be, fashionable with like.
Yeah, maybe if we had a specific ladies fit. Maybe.
Like shoulder, probably yes, because like a lot of our even the smaller sizes are very long.
Yeah. If we had a specific ladies fit, I could see us going somewhere in that direction, a little bit high, a little bit short, much shorter. Anyhow, we'll have to think about that, but.
Yeah. The problem with like ladies fits and stuff is just like it's very like transitional.
Yeah,
I don't like transitional.
Yeah.
I want classic.
All right. Mox says, true millennial fit. Thank you for answering. Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad we're on the same page there. Nicholas says, remember when you weren't cool unless you had a starter jacket as a kid? A starter jacket, starter baseball caps were essential. Like if your hat didn't say starter on it, it was like a fake hat or something. Like it would the I don't know what it's like for kids these days. I would say that the abundance of brand like Adidas, Nike, all that stuff, it just feels like it's a lot less expensive now than it was when I was a kid. But like if you in my junior high, if you weren't wearing Nike sneakers, you couldn't even wear Reeboks. Like if you weren't wearing Nikes, it was over. Like you were gonna get made fun of relentlessly. And like every now and then we'd have like an ESL kid, some new kid to the country come into our class, and they were like wearing some fake Nikes, and like we tore them apart. But nowadays, I mean, I don't know. It's just everything feels like, all the logo stuff that we wanted as a kid. It just feels a lot more accessible nowadays than it was when we were kids. Mm-hmm. But I remember I wore Brooks at one point. I was wearing Brooks shoes just because that's what we could get. And my friend was wearing Converse, and there was a girl. We always hung out together, and there was this girl who just called us Brooks and Cons. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it didn't even make. She's like, your shoes, dummy. And I'm like, oh, you're making fun of us. Got it. Yeah.
Converse. What's wrong with Converse?
Nothing. I don't know. Back then, it was like the poor's shoes. It was just like, there was a time where Levi's, Converse, like all these sort of classic brands that we think of now, they just weren't the cool brands. If you wanted jeans, Calvin Klein, right? Mm-hmm. Diesel. Those were the acceptable. Or if you were from like where I'm from, there was a time where there was a Canadian brand, actually from Montreal, called Parasuco, and they were like a super hyper Italian, like bro, like brand, and just the amount of Parasuco that was being worn was very high. Mm-hmm. We've actually met the owners of Parasuco a few times, Brandon and I, from Montreal. Nice guys, but very different kind of brand. Mock says, when Crocs were clown shoes, I've still never put my foot in a Croc. My foot has never entered a Croc.
I have, in Japan, sometimes you go to a restaurant and you have to take off your shoes and put it away, and then, you still have to go outside to go to the washroom. Uh-huh. Like I've worn Crocs in that sense.
I see.
I had Crocs. Well, I don't know if it was actual Crocs. It was just like a Crocs style shoes. Yeah. It's interesting. I can see, if we're going to the beach and you don't want to be barefoot, that is a great shoes. I don't know if I would want to wear it. Yeah. There are so many good shoes.
Yeah, there's a lot of better options.
That are good.
Isaac says, would you make the double heavyweight tee in blue outside of blue outside of the Indigo? It would look so good in blue. The hoodie comes in. Oh, if you want we do a navy double heavyweight t-shirt. Mm-hmm.
The colors of t-shirts colors are actually something that I think of a lot. Because the thing is, you actually wear t-shirts more as a, base layer for something. So, when you have, a really weird colored t-shirt, not weird as in blue is weird, but it's not the, the dark color or, white and, ecru and heather gray and, lighter classic colors. It's hard for me to wear it with other things, and I tend to not wear those colored t-shirts as much. So even though I I want to have 100 colored t-shirts, it just doesn't seem like a good options. I don't know. I kind of tend to stick with the classic in my personal experience, so it's hard for me to make it.
Right.
But botanical dyes are different because the point of that is the natural dye that creates really nice colors. So in that we'll probably experiment a lot of different colors.
Right. I'm going to say that sometimes I do like weird colors because you might need that color to contrast with the rest of your outfit, and a white or a black might, or a gray might not cut it. So sometimes you just need some interesting colors in the mix of your t-shirt collection so that they contrast well with the other things that you might have. For example, the blanket line, sweatshirt here, there's a lot of colors in this realm here that you might want to pick up on. Even a red t-shirt, wearing something red might pick up on these little neps on the inside. So, sometimes having weird could be a good thing, but it's hard to find that special color just to match that t-shirt, that sweatshirt, or that thing that you're trying to match. I don't
So
know.
you're saying we're gonna make more like different colored, like dyed different colored
I don't know.
t-shirts?
I don't know. I'm just saying that. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Brian says, "Damn, I like all the new colors. Guess I need to collect them all." All right. Well, if you collect them all, you become a Wonder Looper master, and that'd be kind of funny.
No, we were thinking about all kinds of things like that. And just like, I don't,
You
I
know,
don't
you
wanna
do get the
even, like-
reference.
yes,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Pokemon,
Pokemon. Yes.
by the way. Yeah, if we have like a gym, you gotta go. Oh my God! Here's just an idea. Okay. I'm somewhat ripping off another company's idea. So there's a store. You guys know the brand Capital. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you visit their stores, they have little Pog chips that they'll give you, and each store has a different Pog chip. And if you collect them all and you send them in, I don't know if they do this program anymore.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
not, because they don't give us pogs anymore.
Okay, so they might not do
Yeah.
this anymore. So it's free to steal. They would give you a Pog chip, and then if you collected all the Pog chips in that year, which means you had to physically go to every one of their stores, they give you some sort of gift. Now, if we do this at like Blue Owl, James Dan, Bergen Shield, like you visit all the stores, you collect. Maybe it's not every year. It's hard to travel to every store every year. But if you collect all the things, you get a thing.
Well, even the Capital one, it's forever. There's no expiration.
Oh, I see.
As long as the stores do it. If they stopped, then they stopped. But like, it wasn't like you have to visit them all in one year.
I thought it was a 1 year deal.
No.
Uh-huh.
It was forever.
Yeah. BD says Capital got bought outright. Maybe they're no fun anymore. Capital's just bought by LVMH. Nicholas says, yes, I know that.
They're not bought out. They're still the
Yeah.
same people running it. It's just that the majority share
shareholder.
is
Yeah, I think this is just is a Bahzad hot take. You're just gonna see prices go up. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think they're gonna stream down the line because there's a lot that Capital makes that I would say isn't for everybody. They're going to stream it down to sort of maybe I think more of the hits,
and then they're probably going to start opening
stores
overseas.
Yeah, and the prices are going to.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we were at the store last week. Want to show off what you got? I'm just saying we got to show it off. Oh, here's what I bought. I bought socks. Had to buy some socks. Cool socks, eh? Just tiger. My Canadian's coming out. So some tiger striped socks, very fun. But Risa got the most fun thing.
Well,
Bahzad is back.
we can share this if
in
you
Pog
want.
form, huh?
We can share this if you want.
I don't know if this is gonna fit me.
So this is a mosquito-proof jacket.
Yeah, a mosquito-proof Sukajan.
Yeah.
So
It's a Sukajan with the proper embroidery and all, but the fabric is like a see-through
mesh.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the back is like that.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be hard to wear, I have to say.
Yeah.
But it's such a nice, idea, like a great design.
Yeah.
And,
And
part of it also is just it's my, our collective mentality.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Sukajans, and even though we don't wear it all the time,
Yeah.
it's some things that we really appreciate.
Yeah, we
And-
love embroidery.
Yeah.
And, when the time is right, we'll wear Sukajan out together.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really special and beautiful one. And I've never seen a mesh
Yeah.
Sukajan before. And it's all made in Japan and everything, so we thought it was really cool. We had to pick it up.
And it's I love the idea that they're mosquito-proof.
Yeah.
It's I never thought of it, but
Yeah.
it actually is.
Yeah.
If it's really hot in the summer and there's a lot of mosquitoes in Japan.
Or if we go on safari, then you'll have a nice
Yeah.
mosquito-proof torso. But
Yes.
they can...
I just need to maybe make a hood or something.
Right.
A
Wait, where's the
whole-
bag? Just put it...
Yeah, it's too small
Make it a mask.
to
All right.
fit in
We'll
my face.
work on it.
I love the bag.
Venomous Teddy says, I have the Capital Kakishibu Sashiko denim and a few of their rat bandanas. Fantastic. Yeah, I've loved Capital for very, very many years now. And, I mean, their success has been, the last couple of years, their success has been really, really tremendous.
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, you know, I just remember, you know, like 2010 days is like when I discovered it. It was just sort of like this Okayama brand. And, you know, they had stores around and they just had really, really cool stuff and wacky and wild stuff. And the stores are crazy.
It was fantastic. Like, what they're doing was very, like, visionary. Like, and, you know, in a way, it's surprising how long it took for that brand to, like, really, like, explode overseas.
Yeah.
But it was just, like, kind of a well-kept secret, I guess, in Japan. And it was just, you know, like, especially if you understand what it takes to make certain things.
Yeah,
like,
you'll know
really
the prices are good.
Appreciate the price.
Yeah.
Like, the price point is like, okay, it's high. Like, it's not like, you know, they don't have anything that's under $100 basically. Like, if
like a bandana or something.
Yeah, socks,
but they're salvage bandanas, by the way. If you haven't noticed it, but they are salvage bandanas.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, like clothing is very expensive sometimes, but then like you look at it and like just consider how much like time and effort it takes to create one of those things, and especially like done in Japan, most of the things I believe is done in their own factories. Like it's insane to think that they can sell, you know, certain like really a very like hands-on kind of garment for, you know, $200-300. That seems like a steal sometimes. So I can really appreciate, and like once you go to stores, you also really like understand the brand. Like when you're looking online, or if you're like picking up pieces on at like a retail, like, you know, select shops, kind of retail stores, like you might not even get the whole vibe, but like if you go to the stores, like you really understand what they're really about. It's very like, they're very unique.
Yeah. I bought, this is maybe the craziest piece of clothing I own.
Yeah.
And it's a Boro patchwork kasuri. So all of this fabric is fabric that is twisted together to make yarn.
Yeah, it's like sakuri, but knitted, like in this case.
Yeah, and so look at all the different panels that they have going on here. And anyhow, this is just, hold on, I'll put it on, it's crazy.
A lot of like the things like these, like it's all hands work. There's no machine in the world who can do this, or nobody's ever going to develop machines that can do it. So everything is handwork. Everything is done in Japan, and it's if you consider that, like the price is very.
I don't remember how much I paid for this.
Yeah, but like I would imagine like something like this today, even today, like not really like affected by the LVMH pricing. It's probably like at least, you know, 50% more, just because everything, like, you know, the cost of everything is up. But so I think you got it like really right time. And, you know.
Right. Fantastic. It's just a giant wool.
Yeah.
Wool and miscellaneous. I think there's some hemp in here too. It's just
100%.
And some snowy fur. But it's just a crazy giant like hobo sweater. I love it.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
Just statement piece.
Yeah. Venomous Teddy says, I want to go to Capital Store right now. Regret not going. Yeah, I mean, it's I would say that every time we go, I would say sometimes it feels like slim pickings, because it is so hot as a brand right now that like when you walk into the store, it's all tourists in there.
Yeah, the past couple of times we've been like, maybe past year, like all. I mean, to be fair, everywhere in Tokyo is just tourist town, but like especially Capital stores, it's just popping with like it's in the middle of like the day, Tuesday, and it's just like packed with foreign tourists.
Yeah, luckily they have a lot of locations, and anyhow, I'm sure you'll go home with something nice. I would say if you are coming to Japan anytime soon, go get something while the price. My prediction is just prices are just going to go up. You know, when they bought like Rimowa, LVMH bought Rimowa, prices went sky high.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't cheap before, but they were just on the this is expensive luggage price. You know, there's the cheap luggage you buy, there's the medium luggage you buy, there's the expensive luggage you buy. Then LVMH got involved and said,
this is a luxury brand.
Yeah.
And
now it's a luxury price. And so the prices for Rimowa luggage have, I would say at the very fairness, before the warranty was 5 years, now the warranty is lifetime. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you're going to pay double or triple what that bag used to be, but it comes now with the lifetime warranty. So, if you break it, they'll fix it. If you're out of warranty, like I have some old ones, and, you know, if you're out of warranty, you have to get anything fixed. You know, it's like $150, $100 here and there to get something done. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, if they don't break down that often, I don't know. You got to do the math. You got to see if it's worth it to you or not. I like Rimowa luggage. If you haven't noticed, there's a big stack of it over here, but it's all old. Anyhow. Okay. Devin Hurt says, I want to go during the Sakura season to Capital to get the Century denim with the Sakura replacement. I would say, like, if you come in Sakura season in Japan, that's like the height of tourist time. So you should totally come. It is beautiful. I tell people it's going to be really busy and probably a little bit more expensive to come. Flights are, you know, higher. Hotels are going to be higher. Definitely. But it's also the most beautiful time of year.
Yes, there's a reason.
So
the price.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, we're going to ask you to hit the like button as Risa brings over snack time this week. And we've got a weird one. We got a weird one. I'm going to take this sweater off. But we've got a weird one this week. It's a drink, and it's a very Japanese drink, right? I mean, yes.
Okay, so I don't know how I can...
You're going to have to explain this one.
So, you know, there's a drink called ume kombucha in Japan. There's kombucha and ume kombucha in Japan. So it's even though we call it tea, it's actually like a broth, more like kombu is a type of seaweed where we take the broth from. It has a lot of, you know, umami flavor and stuff. And added to that is like a sour plum. So it's kind of like, you know, it is, to me, it's a broth with a little bit of like sourness to it. And so that's a very common drink, but you always drink it hot, you know, it's a tea. And we just found this bottle that was sitting in the fridge section, cold drink section, that has the Genmai Fukucha. And I think it just means like it's got like it's got the sour plum and also the seaweed for broth, but also it's got some like you know, maybe barley, something like that. Anyways, some kind of grain and a little bit of matcha too. So, and what's amazing about this drink is that this one, I believe it's water, that liquid you see.
Okay.
This part, I have to figure out how to do it, but there is a powder in here
in the cap
that you can release into the bottle, and then you shake it and make a drink.
Okay, we got to rip the plastic off so we can see the whole. So.
Okay, but okay.
Yeah. So in Japan, because recycling is a very, very big deal here. Most bottles actually have, like, if you buy a plastic bottle drink, there's usually like a pull tab so that you can remove the plastic covering very easily.
Sure, though, because I need the instructions.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. Anyhow, because this plastic and the bottle plastic are technically different plastics, so you have to put them in different bins. I'm just trying not to rip that part, but anyhow. It's supposed to come off easier than that. I mean, there you go. So, there you go. There's the thing. There's the liquid.
Okay. So now I'm going to follow this instruction. So yeah, apparently there's a powder up here somewhere. I think
Okay.
here.
So
That I
release.
have to release it.
Do it up here so we can see.
Sorry, I'm just reading
Yeah.
this. Wait, which one?
Wait.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
You see that?
It's like
It's like floating.
green powder.
Yeah.
Hold
okay.
on.
So.
It's still seemingly dropping in. Okay.
Okay. And then I have to close it again.
And shake it up. I can see why they don't sell this color drink.
Oh, it looks great. It's like green tea.
Yeah, there's some
but there's
clumps.
like clumps.
Oh, is that
still.
seaweed?
No. It's just all powder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
It's very
It's-
clumpy. Hold on.
yeah,
Let's
it's
give
hard.
this an aggressive shake. And there's no carbonation in here, right? Because that would be
no.
foolish. Okay, I think we're mixed up. Right?
Alright.
No more clumps.
All right.
What do we think, chat?
Let's open it.
Well, let's do it. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. What we did.
Oh wow! So now it's. I guess the powder was up in here
Uh-huh.
with the lid that popped out was like covering that. I don't know what the point of it is. Like, why couldn't you have just made the drink?
It's more fresher this way.
Okay.
I do not.
Smells
It
like
smells. It smells like chlorophyll.
no,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
More like borophyll.
It smells like a ume kombucha. Okay, let's try.
Oh, part of the cap is actually floating around in the drink.
Mm-hmm.
So don't drink that part.
I don't think it will come out.
Oh, it will, because it can.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, choking hazard.
So the taste is, it really is genmai and ume kombucha. If you know you've had those drinks, then it's exactly what it's.
It's salty,
What is genmai?
and I will say, here's what.
Genmai
here-
is brown rice. Brown rice.
yeah, I can taste the rice. Yeah, it's salty. It's got a bit of a rice flavor.
It's like that tea. Like genmai cha is a thing, as in it's like a brown rice tea, I guess.
It tastes
but
healthy.
it also has.
This,
But it also has a ton of like umami flavor because
yeah.
that's why people like to drink this, like ume kombucha because kombu is like umami is like
Yeah.
really strong, right? And then it just really goes well with the like a little bit of a sourness.
yeah, it has a bit of
like a
sourness.
fruit.
Warm, this is better than cold.
Yes, I've
yeah.
never drank it
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, Venomous Teddy says it's broth. It is very much like broth. It tastes very healthy. I'll say that. And that's. I don't know how to rate this drink because it's.
I like it, but I think that if it's warmer, I would enjoy it way more. And
It's a tough one.
and this like powder thing is interesting, but it's probably unnecessary.
I don't dislike it. I don't like it. It exists.
Yes.
If this was there, I suppose.
If this was in the warm hot drink section,
Yeah.
I would buy it every single time.
If this
I
is
love it.
warm and I'm eating sushi, this is great. But on its own, cold,
Yeah, cold is the weird part.
I don't know about it. It's okay.
Cold is the weird part, and this says only cold. Because some drinks are like available for both.
Uh-huh.
Like you can hot or it's cold, but this one's cold only.
Right. So as far as the rating on that one, it's getting a 6.3 out of 10. That's
Okay.
a 6.3. It's fine. It's not gross. It's okay.
I'm gonna go with 6.9 because I love it, but it just like it's not the coldness is the part that I have a problem with. Like this season also, like why are you selling this right now?
Yeah, it's cold outside.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, creativity level.
Yeah.
Pretty high.
High marks.
Yeah.
I like the idea of mixing a drink. Yeah, right?
I just want to know what the reason. If there's a good reason behind this, then I can support it. And
Yeah.
if they're gonna, they can expand to a different thing.
I would think like you get those like powders you put in. You could buy the powdered drinks, and then you mix it with the water. This would be a great idea for like all of those kind of things, right? If whatever cherry flavor, this and that.
Like if they sold this part only, like I can understand.
Yeah.
But why? Like why? I don't know.
Man, why is that floating around? I don't want that. Anyhow, guys, we're gonna leave it there. It's been a great hangout with all of you. We're looking forward to doing it again next week. Same time, same channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Wonder Looper YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend, call your mother, let her know about this channel. And we'll see you guys again next week. Stay safe out there. Do something nice for yourself. And do something else
wish us luck on
for
this,
somebody else.
New adventure today.
That's it. We hope to have some good news for you.
Yeah. Well, next week we'll catch up.
All right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.